KoKo Language Learning, Listening, and Shadowing Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to KoKo Language Learning Podcast. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Allie. Hi, Jacob. It's really good to be here today. How have you been?
I've been great, thanks. Really looking forward to this session. I think it's going to be, really useful for everyone listening who wants their English conversations to sound a bit more, natural.
Oh, absolutely. We talk a lot about grammar, vocabulary, but idioms, they're like a whole different layer, aren't they? Kind of like the secret handshake of English conversation.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to dive into 10 common English idioms.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is really just to help you get comfortable with them. So you can use them, understand them when you hear them. It's sort of a shortcut maybe to connecting better with English speakers.
I totally agree. And honestly, I can't stress enough how important this is. Idioms aren't just like random phrases. They're tiny windows into the culture, shared understanding. They help you get the feeling, not just the words. And knowing them means you're less likely to feel lost, and you'll be, better informed about all those little nuances in English.
Exactly. So here's the plan for today. For each idiom, we'll explain it simply and give you some clear examples.
Okay.
And here's the fun part. We want you to practice shadowing with us. You'll hear the phrase and you get a little pause to repeat it. Try it a few times.
Yeah, really get the sound and rhythm.
You want these to feel like they're already part of your English toolkit. So, should we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Our first idiom is something you'll probably hear when people are ready to stop doing something. It's call it quits.
Ah, yes. Call it quits.
It basically just means to stop doing something. Maybe because it's not working, or maybe you're just tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty clear way to say, okay, I'm done with this for now.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting, I think, is that it often suggests reaching a decision point. Like, okay, now is the time to stop. It feels quite final for that moment.
Yeah, definitive.
Yeah.
Rather than just a pause.
Exactly. Informal, but direct.
Okay, let's try an example sentence. Imagine, maybe, a really long meeting that wasn't going anywhere. After 3 hours of arguing, they finally called it quits. Pause for listener to repeat. After 3 hours of arguing, they finally called it quits. Pause for listener to repeat. After 3 hours of arguing, they finally called it quits. Pause for listener to repeat.
Got it.
And here's how it might sound in a quick chat. We've been working all night. Let's call it quits. Pause for listener to repeat. We've been working all night. Let's call it quits. Pause for listener to repeat.
Yeah, that really shows how it marks a clear endpoint, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Okay, next up. This one's great for when someone says something exactly right. Hit the nail on the head.
Oh, I like this one. It's so visual.
Right. It means you described something perfectly. Your explanation or understanding was just spot on. Absolutely accurate.
Yeah. And it's more than just being correct, I feel. It implies you've been really insightful, like you truly grasped the main point of the issue. It's actually a strong compliment.
Totally. Let's practice the sentence. You hit the nail on the head with that explanation. Pause for listener to repeat.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head with that explanation.
Yeah.
Pause for listener to repeat. You hit the nail on the head with that explanation. Pause for listener to repeat.
Okay.
And in a little conversation. So the problem is lack of communication. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Pause for listener to repeat. So the problem is lack of communication. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Pause for listener to repeat. So the problem is lack of communication. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Pause for listener to repeat.
That's such a satisfying idiom to use and to
It
hear.
really is. Okay, third one for this segment. Let's talk about trends and popularity. Jump on the bandwagon.
Ah, the bandwagon effect.
Exactly. This one means joining something just because it's popular or fashionable. You know, lots of other people are doing it, so you do too.
Right.
Like everyone wanting to ride on the winning team's float after a parade.
It really does give you a little peek into human nature, doesn't it? That pull towards what's popular.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, though, sometimes it can have a slightly critical feel, like suggesting someone's joining only because it's trendy, not out of real interest.
Good point. Okay, let's practice the sentence. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of TikTok videos. Pause for listener to repeat. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of TikTok videos.
Huh. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat. And in a dialogue, why did you buy that brand? I just jumped on the bandwagon. Pause for a listener to repeat. Why did you buy that brand? I just jumped on the bandwagon. Pause for a listener to repeat. Why did you buy that brand? I just jumped on the bandwagon. Pause for listener to repeat.
Pause for a listener to repeat. Why did you buy that brand? I just jumped on the bandwagon. Pause for listener to repeat.
That's a perfect example of that kind of casual, maybe slightly opportunistic feel it can have sometimes.
You know, learning new things like these idioms, especially trying to get the pronunciation and intonation right, it can feel like a bit of a challenge sometimes.
Oh, it really can. I mean, sometimes it feels like your brain is just full trying to remember everything at once. But seriously, remember, the more you hear these, the more you practice shadowing with us,
Right.
the more natural they start to feel. It just takes a bit of time and repetition.
Exactly. Every time you repeat a sentence, you're doing more than just learning words. You're training your ear, training your mouth. You're building that fluency muscle.
And your pronunciation, your intonation, it will get better. Eventually, you really can sound much more like a native speaker. So please keep going. You're doing great.
Absolutely. And hey, while you're listening and practicing, if you're finding this helpful, please do hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Maybe share with friends.
Yeah, that really helps us out and motivates us to keep creating these kinds of sessions for you. We really appreciate it.
We do. Okay, let's keep that positive energy going. We're moving into our next segment, focusing a bit on challenges and persistence.
Okay.
Our fourth idiom is keep your head above water.
Ooh, another very visual one.
Right. Imagine someone literally trying not to sink. It means basically to survive or manage in a tough situation. Often it's about money or maybe just having way too much work. You're just barely getting by.
It really captures that feeling of struggle, but also resilience, doesn't it? That constant effort just to stay afloat when things feel overwhelming, bills, deadlines, whatever it is. You're just trying not to fall behind completely.
Exactly. Let's practice this sentence. I'm just trying to keep my head above water at work. Pause for listener to repeat. I'm just trying to keep my head above water at work. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat.
Got it.
And here's how it sounds in a conversation. How are you handling all the bills? Just keeping my head above water. Pause for listener to repeat.
Yeah.
How are you handling all the bills? Just keeping my head above water. Pause for listener to repeat. How are you handling all the bills? Just keeping my head above water. Pause for listener to repeat.
Yeah, that sums up that feeling of just managing perfectly.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. This is one many of us can probably relate to, unfortunately. Burnout.
Ah, yes, burnout.
This means becoming completely exhausted, like physically and mentally drained, usually from too much work or stress over a long period. It's much more than just feeling tired. It's like total depletion.
It's so relevant today, isn't it? With all the pressures we face, it really highlights the danger of pushing too hard for too long. It's a powerful reminder about, balance and taking care of ourselves before we hit that wall.
Definitely. Let's practice the sentence for burnout. She burned out after months of overtime. Pause for listener to repeat. She burned out after months of overtime. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat.
Okay.
And in dialogue. Why did he quit? He burned out from stress. Pause for listener to repeat. Why did he quit? He burned out from stress. Pause for listener to repeat. Why did he quit? He burned out from stress. Pause for a listener to repeat.
That's such an important concept to understand and recognize, both in ourselves and others.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting through tough stuff, our 6th idiom is actually a really nice compliment. It's a tough cookie.
Ah, I like that one. A tough cookie.
It means someone who's strong, really determined, not easily scared or put off by difficulties. It really praises their resilience, their inner strength.
Yeah, it's a great description for someone with that kind of spirit, isn't it? Someone who can handle pressure, bounce back. It sounds informal and warm, but it packs a punch. It says a lot about someone's character.
Totally. Let's practice it. She's a tough cookie who doesn't give up easily. Pause for listener to repeat. She's a tough cookie who doesn't give up easily. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat.
Right.
And here's how it sounds in a quick exchange. Did she handle the criticism well? Of course she's a tough cookie. Pause for listener to repeat. Did she handle the criticism well? Of course she's a tough cookie. Pause for listener to repeat. Did she handle the criticism well? Of course she's a tough cookie. Pause for listener to repeat.
That tells you so much about her instantly, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, moving into our final segment now. Actions, consequences, and support.
Right.
Number 7 is all about timing. Jump the gun.
Ah, like starting a race too early.
Exactly. That's the image. It means to act too soon, before the proper time. It suggests maybe being a bit too eager or impatient and doing something prematurely.
Yeah, it really points to that human tendency to rush sometimes, doesn't it? And it often implies there might be negative consequences because of that bad timing. A good reminder about patience.
For sure. Let's practice the sentence. He jumped the gun and announced the news early. Pause for listener to repeat. He jumped the gun and announced the news early. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat.
Okay.
And here's how it might sound in dialogue. Did you already send the report? Yes, I jumped the gun. Pause for listener to repeat. Did you already send the report? Yes, I jumped the gun. Pause for listener to repeat. Pause for listener to repeat. Did you already send the report? Yes, I jumped the gun. Pause for listener to repeat.
That's a very clear example, a good lesson in waiting for the signal, so to speak.
Indeed. Okay, number 8. This is something everyone hopes for when they're in a bit of trouble. Off the hook.
That feeling of relief.
Right. It means you're freed from a difficult situation or from some responsibility or maybe from blame. Getting off the hook is usually a huge relief.
It totally captures that feeling, doesn't it? Escaping something tricky, like a heavy weight being lifted or an obligation just disappearing. That sudden freedom.
Let's practice the sentence. She was off the hook when the manager forgave her. Pause for listener to repeat. She was off the hook when the manager forgave her. Pause for listener to repeat. She was off the hook when the manager forgave her. Pause for listener to repeat. And let's listen to it in a conversation. Did you have to pay the fine? No, I was off the hook. Pause for listener to repeat. Did you have to pay the fine? No, I was off the hook. Pause for listener to repeat.
That's a great feeling. Wonderful relief.
It really is. Okay, number 9 is a bit more, well, abrupt and unsettling. Pull the rug out from under someone.
Oof. Yeah, that sounds jarring.
It is. Imagine standing on a rug, feeling stable, and then whoosh, it's pulled away. That's the feeling. It means someone suddenly withdraws support or causes a huge shock, leaving the person feeling really unstable and in a difficult spot.
Yeah, it paints such a vivid picture of that sudden loss of stability, doesn't it? When your foundation, maybe a plan or support or an expectation, just vanishes unexpectedly, it causes real shock and vulnerability.
Definitely. Let's practice the sense. The deal fell through and pulled the rug out from under us. Pause for listener to repeat. The deal fell through and pulled the rug out from under us. Pause for listener to repeat. The deal fell through and pulled the rug out from under us.
Yeah.
Pause for listener to repeat.
Right.
And in conversation, it can sound like this. Why is the team shocked? The sponsor pulled the rug out from under them. Pause for listener to repeat. Why is the team shocked? The sponsor pulled the rug out from under them. Pause for listener to repeat. Why is the team shocked? The sponsor pulled the rug out from under them. Pause for listener to repeat.
Wow, yeah. That really captures that sudden destabilizing surprise.
It certainly does. Okay, for our 10th and final idiom today, let's end things on a really positive note. Go the extra mile.
I love this one. It's such a great quality.
Isn't it? It simply means doing more than what's expected or required, putting in that extra effort, going beyond what's considered normal or typical.
It really highlights things like dedication, commitment, even generosity sometimes. It celebrates people who don't just meet expectations, but really exceed them, adding that special touch that makes a big positive difference.
Beautifully put. Let's practice this sentence. The staff went the extra mile to make us comfortable. Pause for listener to repeat. The staff went the extra mile to make us comfortable. Pause for listener to repeat.
Yeah.
Pause for listener to repeat. And here's how you won't hear it in dialogue. The service was amazing. Yes, they went the extra mile. Pause for listener to repeat. The service was amazing. Yes, they went the extra mile. Pause for a listener to repeat. Soda service was amazing. Yes, they went the extra mile. Pause for listener to repeat.
That's a perfect way to describe truly exceptional effort.
And there we have it. Wow, 10 English idioms. These are honestly such valuable tools if you want to, really understand and connect with English speakers better.
Definitely.
From knowing when to call it quits to appreciating when someone goes the extra mile, these phrases pop up everywhere. So keep listening for them and keep practicing with that shadowing. The more you do it, the more natural it'll feel.
Absolutely. And remember, these idioms are, well, they're more than just quirky phrases, aren't they? They're like little condensed stories. They reflect shared experiences, cultural understanding, maybe even bits of history sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They really invite you to look past the literal words and connect with the sort of heart of the language. When you understand an idiom, you're not just learning a definition, you're grabbing a small piece of cultural insight.
That's such a great way to think about it. It really is powerful. And, it makes you wonder and maybe gives you something to think about too.
Yeah.
How many idioms do you use in your own native language, maybe without even thinking about it? And what do those phrases reveal, about how your culture sees the world, the shared wisdom passed down?
That's a fascinating thought.
Right. Something to ponder as you continue your language journey. So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep learning with KoKo.
Bye, everyone.